abane wo mu enyini yo. Enyini yo.
A dangerous menace is causing damage on the quiet.
Boyo cha no fene ma ya yo we.
Bi wo ho a odi edroguso, obi so on fire droguso. Eti wo dia wondi on fire droguso no, wo tomatoes no ebe ya dindin. Edro dia no kakra pe na apoto.
Vegetables on the market now at risk of contamination.
Mense utontos. Udu fu wa cha 3 days. 3 days no for kofa. Na asay.
We face problems with pests that actually destroy our crops and other stuff.
If we don't use it, they will end up damaging the crops. So we really need to use the pesticides.
The entirety of agrochemicals, they are all poisons, one way or the other. Once it's able to kill a pest.
And as Ghana continues to reel under the havoc of lands degraded by illegal mining, farmers too bearing the brunt of lost soil fertility, forcing the use of excessive chemicals, and with it, the negative effects. I am on a recently harvested tomato field, and in my hand is a chemical called Ethimax 480 SL. Now, this chemical is one that is ideally supposed to be used on fruits like pineapples, bananas, etc. to help in their ripening. Now, there is something that is happening in several parts of farming communities in Ghana where farmers are now using chemicals like this one and several others that should do the same thing or perform the same activity on vegetables like tomatoes to quicken their ripening, just so they could avoid it going bad. In this story, I would be telling you why this is happening and what that means for you as a tomato consumer. In this film, I would also be traveling to the central region to find out how farmers, now pushed to the brink by the loss of their farmland and its fertility, are forced to use excessive amounts of chemicals to show up the productivity of farmland degraded by mining. It's a Friday in Kase, a busy town in the Greater Accra region. This enclave is one of the biggest growing areas for vegetables like tomatoes and pepper. It's a market day and people have come from far and near to buy and sell. Kase's market is typically known for salt business, but around this time of the year, it's vegetables like tomatoes that is abundant in supply. Prices have fallen to an all-time low.
Edro boarding. Seed in Ankasa cry, Edria Granny boarding. Tama, all the time, this OG loan. If you ever grab a loan, I do send your money by banner. By harvesting your man on a buono. Now Sika Odisha monograno. When
Rose Bacha has come here from Kuforidia in the eastern region. She's been buying and selling tomatoes from here for more than 10 years. And this year, she has more available on the market to buy from. But there's a problem. She's concerned about the state of tomatoes on sale.
Sir, a buoni pejabe. Obiwa, Nidiano, I agree with the new seed in any. I was on China and no Ankasa in Hombre. On China, sir, Okoto Bra, Yedima Abrobe. Okoto said, Drone the Abebo. Into Sanya Bebre, Tem Amano. And so the drone bonnie, sir, dear. What's in there? At the Betchinona, a pro, no, a coffin. A bed pro, because of a drone no insane. ntoos no nti ema ne say
Farmers, in a bid to get their tomatoes to ripen in time so they can get the best possible price, are adding chemicals that are ideally not for such vegetables. This problem is not just here. It looks like a widespread phenomenon.
Price ne ba na asane. Price ne njena. Nti se ne ba ne pa ne benya ne price ntem no. Oti se price ne peja pe. Na wo so nko boss eduru no nya. Ne sika ntem ansa na price no asan abafo. Ubeko na we ama compress say ntosi na emunye emu apro ehu ayese na che say uton ama ne 1000 na ontua 1000 because of ehu ne apro kakra yeden ewo.
Rose's story is shared by several other traders that we have spoken to here. Another is Gifty Boete, who apart from selling the tomatoes is also a farmer that grows the vegetable.
I don't know what media meaning. And some more person Munyascano tell ya na baby. I would the top and I was sick. Every I only must have a dog gusu. And a promo when I say, you don't know how much it was so what tomatoes in Susa. I was said, I was so.
Climate change and its effects on emerging pest and disease situation is making things difficult for our farmers. So you have situations where diseases that were not that prevalent are becoming a big challenge for us. The question is that how do farmers gain the capacity and knowledge to be able to manage this emerging pest and disease situation? Do farmers have that knowledge of what is the right time to attack this pest or disease? And if I should go the direction of chemical control, what quantity or what ingredients should I use? What quantity should I use per knapsack? And what is the appropriate time to apply this chemical?
I want to find out more about this problem, and so I'm going further into the farmlands around Kase to meet some of the farmers. Richard Kwesi Bosompra is one of the people at the forefront of the advocacy to get farmers to quit abusing chemicals and pesticides on crops. He works as an agric extension officer in the Ada East district where Kase is located. I am going with him to Amlapo and Kolekope. These are two small villages here that are major growers of tomatoes.
The pesticide, every season with its own problems that come with it. Like this year, like this, we have some caterpillars, and then if you don't use it, they will end up damaging the crops. So we really need to use that pesticides to control that pest.
We have a perception that when we use these pesticides, it will actually increase our yield, or it will actually do this, or it will actually do that. So that is the main reason why most of the farmers here use pesticides. And then we face problems with pests that actually destroy our crops and other stuff. And if you don't do that, meaning that you are going to lose most of your crops. And then given the prices of the seedlings that we buy to plant, if you don't protect it from the pests, you are going to run at a loss. And you can't continue anywhere. So that is why we mostly use the pesticides here.
Either it's a fungal disease, so most of your fungals are caused by the because every chemical that you go for has what we call a spray interval period. So for instance, if you go for a particular chemical, it is being indicated on the bottle that, oh, this chemical will last for 7 days before its potency rate will be down. Some will also last for 14 days. It depends on the chemical that you've gone for. And so, some of the farmers are ignorant about all these things. So some can go for chemicals which has a spray interval of 14 days. Meanwhile, the crop on the field, they are harvesting it already. And then maybe in an interval of maybe 3 days, they do go there to harvest. Yet they will use chemicals that have a spray interval of 14 days.
There's a natural cycle. When plants and animals die, they have to get rotting and mix with the soil. And those organisms that are supposed to help recycle these nutrients back into the soil for the plants to get, they are not there. So it has resulted in our soils, in our cropland being infertile. So what the government decided to do is to import artificial fertilizers.
This is the Ashaiman market. It's one of Greater Accra's largest, and it's here that some of the tomatoes bought from Kase come for onward sales to household food consumers.
The first month, what the boa, very 1 week, and Nagasa, a brie, not soon, Nayakitua, Okofana, Uchia, I am to a Guha and plot, the answer a bed and air dry. By myself, what do go I chat 3 days? 3 days in the poke of far. Now I said, now you say a drone this channel. A dross man, and all say be a me pineapple. Name just and can knock us up briefly inside and send a bar abontin. By this year, abontini bring inside in every. And you draw nippany pentent to a cosplay. Till we are a crab was a penny who now bring inside in there. And you need almost play.
And boy, because ye toss a tiaka at the bus and other say. Yes, and then so yes, a kaya de out, no boy. Me who say, son, I am prone, me just say, quite a young swa. I be affected, son of a pro, a young so affected.
Some pesticides are designed scientifically to.
Prince Ishnodima is a dietitian. He has spent years studying food systems in Ghana and the effect that chemicals and pesticides, if wrongly applied, could have on human health through the food that we eat.
If you use a particular pesticide or plant regulator that enhances ripening very fast than is supposed to be its normal time, what it means is that some nutrients can be lost. If we use some of these pesticides or plant regulators to enhance the ripening of certain food products, we are likely to lose some of these carotenoids in the plants. We may also lose the content of vitamin C, ascorbic acid, right, which we also, the system, your body also needs it to properly function. When you cause ripening earlier or quicker than it's supposed to be naturally, you are likely to lose the content of dietary fiber. And we all know what really helps us as human beings is how much dietary fiber we consume. That is protecting us from, 1, colorectal cancers, certain cancers in our system. 2, it also is digestion. Dietary fiber is digestion and therefore protects you against certain diseases that we know. So if we use some of these chemicals to sort of shorten or quicken the process of ripening, example in banana, in apple, all these things are leading to the diabetes situations we have in our country, the high sugary foods that we have in our country. Some of these products are as a result of the plant regulators or the chemicals that we are using in spraying them.
Termites, which are also insects, pesticides are very important in, rejuvenating the nutrients in the soil. Now, with the intense spraying of pesticides, these termites are destroyed, so, well, including fire, so it kills them. They also help aerate the soil and also put nutrients back in the soil. Earthworms, obviously, when you spray and the chemicals wash into the soil, they will kill all of them. So all these things are rendering the soil infertile.
Back in Kase, the market women and the farmers who have all been counting their losses tell me what they think the government can and should do to help address the problem.
Sani ayeke seed ni boarding. Enti seed na ni boarding no. Enu nti na nipa na odua ye no. Ofo so say we say bo ba 100,000 a. E we say ote no nya ni sika. Ansa na duro sika. Eye dan ya ye manifest ye boni spray. Se na be amoa emmem. Enti sa sika ni nyina into spray ye mu na mo yi free. Enti se mo nya mo bi amoa ye about say e bi a seed no. E ho asem.
What is the bottom line? The bottom line is that we put in preventive measures and curtail the aftermath. Okay, the ailments, the damages, which this country will eventually pay for, and ensure that farmers are trained, urban, peri-urban farmers are we intentionally create space for them to do their production, access to water as a resource, and I'm talking about quality water for our vegetables, training them, building their capacity, to be able to use agrochemicals in the right and appropriate ways. We are not saying don't use agrochemicals, but if you use it with proper guidelines.
Science has to back all the chemicals we are using for our farming. We have to, as a community, as a country, as a people, start to reason up and then know how we use these chemicals for our own health.
The excessive use of agrochemicals is not only happening with tomatoes. On this journey, we have been told about pesticide abuse on garden eggs, pepper, and even fruits like banana, pineapples, among others. The issue of food safety raises concern that need addressing. Changing weather patterns would continue to put pressure on farmlands and resources, and also food. This means that deliberate work needs to be done to ensure human lives are protected, while securing the earnings and livelihoods of farmers who produce the food that we eat.